This is a vid of how I ended up mounting this 20 by 10 by 8 tire onto this 8 by 8.5 inch rim. I ended up using 2 techniques in combination to get it to work. So that one's seated, this one is not seated. You can see the back pretty much pushed in. It's got a massive gap in there to seat the bead in there. So I first tried to get a ratchet strap on there, which has worked in the past on other rims. But the problem with this is it just couldn't put enough pressure, and it ended up basically caving in the tire and deforming the bead. So even with multiple straps on there, I just couldn't get that to work. So I went on YouTube and I found another technique, which is basically a 5-gallon bucket like so. And the way that works is basically you push down on the rim from above to seat the top and fill the tire. You build up enough pressure in the bucket to basically counteract the down pressure. Push the rim up into the bottom bead. And it does work. The problem is, in order to have enough down pressure to seal the tire against the rim of the bucket, and by the way, I got some wet rags on there to help seal that. So I'll hook that up. You can see it does lift, but it doesn't. Okay, so I've got one ratchet strap hooked up on here. You want to make sure that you go right down the center of the tire, because if you put them on towards the edge, it ends up either making the bead oblong or actually pushes the bead inward, which is not what you want. So with one hand, go ahead and start to ratchet this down. You can see that it's going to deform one section of the tire. So in this case, since I got such a big gap on there, I got to put multiple straps on there to spread the force out evenly to get this gap closed up. Second strap is on. So now you can see it's right down the center. Apply some more pressure. And keep adding straps. All right, third strap. Right down the center. Just gonna deform that a little bit so you can see that it's starting to close that gap up a little bit. Okay, now I've got 4 straps on there, and holding the rim from the back, gap is definitely smaller. Just work the pressure around. So one thing you want to do is make sure that when you place the straps is you don't cover the other ratchets. Otherwise you won't be able to ratchet them in down. So this one's got still a gap in there that is just not going to fill by itself. No way. Got everything ratcheted down. The back side's pretty much sealed off. That looks good. Front side, got some gaps in there still. Kind of hard to see in the video, but that's not sealed by itself. Still too big. So a couple of things. I don't have a valve stem in here or the core in there. Took it out. So I got one in my pocket ready to go once I get it seated. And then got the tape in there. That's for the bucket. So it seals off the air in the bucket. Okay, one thing that I found that helps is, number one, I think I mentioned, get some rags, get them wet. That helps seal the tire against the bucket. And then the other thing is, Windex works fine for helping to seal rubber against the wheel. And also helps it to seat. Once it makes a little bit of seal, that will help grab. So there we go. Put some pressure on the rim. Get it going here. Stand on it. Okay, it doesn't help to have the strap stuck in the bead mount behind there, so take that out, try again. A little balance. And definitely filling. There. It just seated. Now, I'm going to release that. I got to put the core in there. Put the core in there. Let's check out the back. Everything else is seated there. And just about seated here. So, I just got to take the straps off and fill it up. Pretty much seated now. So I'm just going to put 15 pounds in it. 20 pound max. And all good. Nice.